So Az-Zahra says, Ma yudhikuka ya ghulam, what makes you smile? He says, Subhanallah, adhakani adama barakati hadha al-iqt. Bibi Zahra, आपके इस नेकलेस की बरकत में देख रहा हूँ कि इतनी ज़्यादा है. अशबा जाइयन, it fed a hungry man. وَكَسَى عُرْيَانًا, it clothed a man who did not have clothes. وَأَغْنَى فَقِيرًا, it made rich a man who did not have money. And it freed a slave. It freed a slave. And this came back to where it belonged. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-'aliyyil 'azim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen wa ala alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin al-ghurr al-mayamin al-ma'sumin alladhina adhhaba Allahu 'anhum ar-rijsa wa tahharahum tatheera. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil fi farajihim ya karam wa la'anatahum ajma'in. खुदा हम सब से हमारी इबादत को, ताअत को कबूल फरमाए अपनी बारगाह में, आमीन या रब्बिल आलमीन. उसकी कबूलियत ना हो तो वाक़ई इंसान बेबस है और लाचार है कि सारी इबादतें जो हैं वो बर्बाद हो जाएंगी कि अगर उसकी रज़ायत शामिल हाल ना रही. Continuing what we were discussing in the previous nights, we were talking about translating Dua al-Iftitah, paying some attention, giving some thought to the ibarat and the phrases of Dua al-Iftitah. The dua recommended by Imam Sahib al-Asri wa Zaman, Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Faraj al-Sharif, to be recited every night of this blessed and holy month of Ramadan. I'm also need to be careful because we have a Quran session after this. I won't take much of your time, just to continue from where we left off yesterday. We spoke about the karam and the jood of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We spoke about how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps calling upon us and how we keep turning away from Him. How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a mahabba and a mawadda, and He shows us love. And the way we reject and ignore it and turn away from it, this may not be a voluntary action, this might be a subconscious thing, but it is something that exists within us that the Imam is trying to identify. The Imam is telling you that these problems do exist when a dua is not accepted in the time that you have decided for it to be accepted, and you have that ludge. If I prayed so many days, I fasted so many days, so many times have I come to your door, to knock on your door, to ask you, Allah, where is my dua? Where is what I seek, what I've asked for? The Imam says this is your state. At the end of the day, it is very difficult to the three gradations of the people who worship, or the type of people who worship. Imam Ali says one is like the tajir who sees benefit and he chases it. One is like the slave who's afraid of being admonished and punished. He says then comes the ibadatul ahrar, the ibadah of the free men. The ibadah of the free men who do not desire reward, nor are they afraid of punishment. When you understand this, and it is not a difficult thing to attain. एक बात मैं चाह रहा हूँ मुफस्सल इस बात को समझें. Sometimes we might discuss this. ये जो हम जिसको फ़ज़ाइल अली इब्न अबी तालिब अलैहिस्सलाम कहते हैं, ये उनके लिए आदी चीज़ है, हम उसको फजीलत समझते हैं. खुदा के लिए खुदाई करना उसके लिए हुनर नहीं है. अली के लिए मज़हर खुदा बन के इजहार क़ुदरत इलाही करना अली का कमाल नहीं है. ये सरकार, ये उनके रूटीन की बात है. हम देख के चौकन्ना और होशी क्या कहते हैं बतहवास हो जाते हैं. अब यहाँ पर so this is one aspect that needed to be understood. The Imam is telling you to dive deep within yourself and understand this is who you are. So when the Imam says ibadatul ahrar, the worship of the free men, somebody who has sinned for a long time, will I be able to attain this? मेरा गुनाह इतना बड़ा है, I've done such a big sin. There's just the same thing Imam al-Hussein said to Hurr. He says, Anta hurrun fi dunya wal akhirah. This hurriya Imam Hussein talks about is the same hurriya Imam Ali said. Ibadatul ahrar. न किसी चीज़ से डर है, न किसी चीज़ की लालच है, सिर्फ हुसैन चाहिए हुर को सिर्फ हुसैन चाहिए. He's understood the falsafa, the philosophy of ibadah here. So once we've said that, and then we continue, the Imam says in this dua, فَلَمْ يَمْنَعَكَ ذَلِكَ مِنَ الرَّحْمَةِ لِي. Even though I have been obstinate, even though I have been someone who's turned away from you, Allah, you kept calling towards me, Allah, you kept getting my attention and I kept turning away from you. This did not stop you. فَلَمْ يَمْنَعَكَ ذَلِكَ مِنَ الرَّحْمَةِ, that you shower upon me the blessings and mercy. Even though I kept running away. Imam says, لَا يُمْكِنُ الْفَرَارُ مِنْ حُكُومَتِكَ. Even if you try to run away, you cannot escape the kingdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Try as much as you can. He says, even if I was not responding to you, I would turn away. Azan की आवाज़ कान में आ रही है, मैं करवट लेके सो जाता था. ये किया है. इमाम कह रहे हैं, एतराफ़ करो इस बात का. बाज़ दफ़ा सिर्फ इक़बाल जुर्म करने में बख्शिश का सामान रखा होता है. इस बात को महसूस करें. बाज़ दफ़ा इंसान से भी कह देना कि हाँ किया है मैंने. सुनने वाले से भी ये चाह रहा था कि तुम इस बात का इक़बाल कर लो, इस बात का इक़रार कर लो. He says, even though I behaved this way, it did not stop you from showering your blessing upon me. Wal ihsan ilayya, and all the ihsan, the good things you've done for me. Wat tafadduli alayya bijudik wa karamik, and the fadl you've given me, and the distinct maqam you've given me, and this is bijudika wa karamik. This is from your sakha, this is from your grand maqam of giving. I'll come to a hadith I've prepared, time dependent, that I'd like to talk about Jood and Sakha and the return of it if you were to practice it in our lives. Then the tonality of the dua changes, and the Imam says, now when you continue reciting this dua, say this: Farham abdikal jahil. Allah, forgive your ignorant subject. उसकी बख्शिश हो, उसकी माफ़ी हो. If you read the dua and you revise the dua, it says, Allah, my sins that I were subconsciously or unwillingly I did, or the things that I've done willingly, जो मैंने जानबूझ के भी किया है. एक गुनाह है, मुझे पता है गुनाह है, मुझे पता है तू देख रहा है, लेकिन मैंने फिर भी वो गुनाह किया. इमाम कह रहे हैं उस पर भी तुम ये बात कहो, अब्दुकल जाहिल, क्योंकि अगर तुम वाकई आलिम होते तो ये काम न करते. अगर आप वाकई आलिम होते, if you had really truly known the maqam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you would not have behaved so call yourself a jahil. Say that I'm ignorant. Were I more cognizant of your maqam, I would dare not do such a thing. But ask for mercy and clemency. Farham abdikal jahil. Allah, माफ़ कर दे उस अब्द को जो जाहिल है, नादान है. वजुद अलैहि, और तू जवाद बन. Be the merciful one, be the giving one. Bifadle ihsanik. This is something I wish we had spent more time learning the Arabic language. Those people who understand the Arabic language, the Imam could have instructed us to say, Farham wajud alayhi bifadlika wa ihsanika. Two independent entities. Forgive me because of the fadl that you have, because of the high maqam that you have, wa ihsanik, and the generous nature that you have. But the Imam does not count two independent maqamat. Imam isko ek saath karke kehte hain. Instead of saying fadlika wa ihsanik, Imam says bifadle ihsanik, to show you that the sifat of Allah, even the sifat in themselves are not independent. इसमें भी तौहीद है. फ़ज़ल एहसान की वजह से है, एहसान फ़ज़ल की वजह से है. यहाँ पे भी दोयत नहीं रखी अल्लाह ने अपने ज़ात में, और इमाम तौहीद की तरफ लेके जा रहे हैं. जो फ़ज़ल से है वो एहसान से है, दोयत नहीं है. इमाम तुम्हें कसरत से अहदियत की तरफ लेके जा रहे हैं. In this dua, the Imam is taking you from multiplicity to unity, that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Innaka jawadun kareem. You indeed, you are generous and very noble. Alhamdulillahi maliki al-mulki mujri al-fulki musakhir al-riyah faliq al-asbah dayan al-deen rabbil alamin. This requires a full 30-40 minutes at least, and I don't want to rush through it. But coming back to Jud and Karam, please allow me to share a hadith that when I started learning, after I learned Arabic traditionally in the Hausa, this was the first hadith that my teacher asked me to read thoroughly in the Arabic language and asked me to translate it word by word, and I think I did pretty good in that. So let me share this hadith with you. It left an impression on myself, and it is also connected to this topic. عن جابر بن عبد الله الأنصاري, relates Jabir bin Abdullah al-Ansari, قال صلى بنا رسول الله, recited salat with us, prayed with us Rasulullah, the Prophet of Allah, salat al-Asr, the prayer of Asr. فلما انفتل, and when salat was done, جلس في قبلته والناس حوله, he sat in the mihrab where he was praying, and people were surrounding him. فبينما هم كذلك, as this were the case, everybody was sitting around the Prophet. إذا أقبل إليه شيخ من مهاجرة العرب, came towards the Prophet an old man who was known to be of the Muhajirin. There's two groups in Madinah al-Munawwara. One were the Muhajirin, the migrants that came with Rasulullah, and one were the Ansar, people who welcomed them and homed them and housed them and made them brothers. قد تهلل وأخلق وهو لا يكاد يتمألك كبرا وضعفا. He was an old destitute man. فأقبل على رسول الله, and he comes. يستحثه الخبر فقال الشيخ يا نبي. The old man says to the Prophet, Ya Nabi, O Rasulullah, أنا جائع الكبد. I am hungry. Literal translation, I am hungry of stomach. فأطعمني, feed me. وعاري الجسد فاكسني. I have no clothes on my body, so please clothe me. وفقير فأرشني, and I have nothing of the world's wealth, so give me something to bring me out of my state. أحسن إلي, do something nice for me. فقال صلى الله عليه وآله, says the Prophet, peace be upon him, ما أجد لك شيئا. ما أجد لك شيئا, I don't find with me something that I can give you in this moment of time. ما أجد لك شيئا, I don't find anything to give you right now. ولكن الدال على الخير كفاعله. This has become a principle in akhlaq. الدال على الخير كفاعله. Somebody that points towards the right action is as if someone who's done the good deed. Somebody comes to me and says, Molana, is there any way you can help me in a certain manner? I says, I don't know how to help you. I say, I don't know how to help you at the moment right now, but I know who can help you out. الدال على الخير كفاعله. So I've been the one who's put him in a direction where a moment can help him resolve the problem. And just because with good intention I was able to guide him through the situation, Rasulullah says, كفاعله, it is as if someone is the one who's performed the deed. तो सवाब में आप शामिल हो जाते हैं. And then Rasulullah says, انطلق إلى منزلي, go to a house that من يحب الله ورسوله ويحبه الله ورسوله. Go to a house that, the household that loves Allah and the Prophet, and Allah loves that house and the Prophet loves that house. يؤثر الله على نفسه. That house and the people in that house, they have Allah in the forefront. They will sacrifice and ransom themselves for the sake of Allah. उनके लिए Allah सारा हम और सारा गम है. انطلق إلى حجرة فاطمة. Go to the house of Fatima Zahra salamullah alayha. فقال صلى الله عليه وآله, and the Prophet said, Ya Bilal, O Bilal, قم فقف به على منزل فاطمة, stand with him at the door of Zahra Salamun alayha. فأنطلق الأعرابي مع Bilal. The Arabi goes with Bilal and he goes to the house of Zahra Salamun alayha. فلما وقف على باب فاطمة عليه السلام, and when he stood at the door of Zahra, نادى بأعلى صوته, he cries out in a loud voice, Assalamu alaikum ya ahli bayt al-nubuwah, peace be upon you, O household of the Prophet. Wa mukhtalaf al-malaika. Mukhtalaf al-malaika means a place where there is ascension and descension happening of angels continuously. जहाँ फरिश्ते आ भी रहे हैं, फरिश्ते यहाँ से जा भी रहे हैं. मुख्तलफ इख्तिलाफ हो रहा है. खल्फ कहते हैं कि उसका आना फिर इसके बाद जाना. लफ्ज़ खलीफा यहीं से निकला है. एक के बाद जो दूसरा आता है, जानशीन बनता है. मुख्तलिफुल मलाइका, ये वो जगह है जो फरिश्तों से खाली नहीं रहती. एक जाता है तो दूसरा उसी जगह ले लेता है. व महबती जिब्राईल ar-ruh al-amin, and this is the place where descends on this part of this earth Jibreel ar-ruh al-amin bit-tanzil, with the Quran, with the tartil and the tanzil, min indi rabbil alamin, and this is how he announces his presence at the door of Zahra salamun alayha. فقالت, and she says, Zahra salamun alayha wa alayka as-salam, faman anta ya hadha, who are you, the one knocking on my door? قال الإعرابي شيخ من العرب, I'm an old man from the Arab, from these people. أقبلت على أبيك سيد البشر, I went to your father, Sayyid al-Bashar, muhajiran min shuqqatin, coming from a far off land. وأنا يا بنت محمد, O the daughter of Rasulullah, عاري الجسد, I don't have any clothes to wear. جائع الكبد, I don't have any food to eat. فواسيني بيرحمك Allah, so please help and attend to me that Allah have mercy on you. فعمدت, فعمد, अब करम और जूद की बात हो रही है, and this might have within it the jud and the karam and also the nature of man. जो मैंने कहा था ना कि even if you give me enough, I'll still have reason to complain. The riwayah says فعمدت فاطمة إلى جلد كبش. Az-Zahra, the daughter of the Prophet, she goes inside and she picks up a piece of leather skin. She picks it up. كان ينام عليه الحسن والحسين, Imam al-Hasan, Imam Hussein were sleeping on it. और बीबी उसको उठा लेती. हसनैन इमाम उस पर सो रहे हैं इस वक्त और बीबी उसको उठा लेती हैं. क्यों? दरवाजे पे साहिल खड़ा हुआ. सरकार जूद और करम की बात कर रहे हैं ना आप, जूद और बख्शिश की बात हो रही है. दरवाजे पे साहिल खड़ा हुआ है, बीबी नहीं जानती. बीबी पूछनी तुम कौन हो, ना तुम बिलाल हो ना तुम सलमान हो. कौन? कहीं मैं अरब का एक आदमी, नाम भी उसने नहीं बताया अपना. कहा ठीक है. The leather, the piece of leather that Imam al-Hasan and Imam Hussein are sleeping on, Bibi collects it. فَقَالَتْ خُذْ هَذَا أَيُّهَا الطَّارِقِ, take this of the one knocking on my door. فَعَسَى اللَّهُ أَن يَرْتَاحَ لَكَ مَا هُوَ خَيْرٌ مِنْهُ, may Allah give you something that is more better than this. खुदा आपके ईमानों को सलामत रखे, आपकी मारिफत में मज़ीद इजाफा हो. मैं अगर यहाँ पे भी हदीस बंद कर दूँ तो आप लोग सैर घर जाएंगे, मुझे इत्मीनान है. आप लोग, दिल आपके भरे हुए कराम अहले बैत से. फ़क़ाल al-Arabi, then says this man, Ya bintu Muhammad, O the daughter of Rasulullah, shakawtu ilayki al-ju', I complained to you about being hungry. فَنَاوَلْتِينِي جِلْدَ كَبْشِ, you give me a piece of leather. अंदाज देख रहे हैं आप उसका. I complained to you about hunger and you give me a piece of leather. ما أنا صانع به, what will I do with this piece of leather? उसको क्या पता कि इस पे हसनैन सो रहे थे. हम और आप होते, if this was me on you, कि जिस पे हमारे बच्चे सो रहे हैं, क्या कहते कि आप एक काम करें, आप चले जाइए, आपको देने के लिए कुछ भी नहीं है. मा अजिदु मिनल जू, what I find of hunger, what do I do with it? इसका मैं क्या करूँगा? लम्मा समिअत हादा मिन क़ौलिही, when Az-Zahra hears of this from this man, عمدت فاطمة إلى عقد كانت في عنقها. बीबी अपने गर्दन में हाथ डालती हैं, उनकी गर्दन में एक हार होता है. बीबी उस हार को उठाती हैं और दरवाजे के पीछे आगे बढ़ा देती हैं. لما سمعت هذا من قوله إلى عقد كان في عنقها, she had a necklace in her neck. She takes it off, and this necklace did not belong to her. क्या उनके पास? أهدته لها فاطمة بنت عمها حمزة. Fatima, the daughter of Hamza bint Abdul Muttalib. Hamza's daughter Fatima had gifted this to Az-Zahra salamullahi alayha. This was a gift that she would hold and cherish. She took it off and she gave it to this man. فقطعته من عنقها ونبذته إلى الإعراب فقال خذه وبيعه. Take this and sell it. Take this and sell it. فعسى الله أن يعوضك بما هو خير منه. Inshallah, Allah will give you in the transaction something that you deserve, something that is better than this. فأخذ الإعرابي والإقط وانطلق إلى المسجد رسول وكان جالسا بين أصحابه. The Arabi returns to the masjid and he comes to Rasulullah. فقال يا رسول الله أعطتني فاطمة هذا الإقط. Your daughter Fatima has given me this necklace. فقالت, Rasulullah says, بِعْهُ فَعَسَى اللَّهُ أَن يَصْنَعَ لَكَ. The riwayah says when Rasulullah saw this man, Rasulullah is sitting with his companions, this man enters, he has a necklace in his hand and he says, your daughter gave me this necklace. The riwayah says, فَبَكَى النَّبِي. The Prophet starts crying. Rasul की आंखों में आंसू आ जाते हैं. وَقَالْ كَيْفَ لَا يَصْنَعُ لَهُ لَكَ. Why is it not possible that Allah... What did Bibi Zahra say? Bibi Zahra said when she gave him the necklace, she says, take it, may Allah open your ways. He says, why will Allah not open your ways when Fatima, the daughter of Muhammad, has given this to you? Why will Allah not open your ways when Fatima, the daughter of Rasulullah, has given this to you? Sayyidatu binat Adam. Adam की जितनी बेटी हैं उसमें जो सैयदा है फातिमा इसने आपको दिया है. फ़क़ाल अम्मार बिन यासिर. Ammar bin Yasir says, Ya Rasulullah, أتأذن لي بشراء هذا العقد. Rasulullah, do you give me the permission to buy this necklace off of this man? فقال اشتره يا عمار. Rasulullah says, Ammar, go ahead, buy this necklace of this man. فلو اشترك فيه الثقلان ما عظم الله في النار. Rasulullah says, if all of jinn and insan come together in buying this, Allah will remove the adhab of fire from all of jinn and insan. This is the adhma of this necklace right now. فقال عمار بكم العقد يا إعرابي. How much will you sell this for? Oh, I'rabi is someone who sits in the desert. فقال بشعبة من الخبز, a piece of bread. واللحم, and a piece of meat. وبردة يمانية أستر بها عورتي, enough cloth, Yemeni cloth, that I can cover my lower self with. وأصلي فيها ربي, so I can pray to my Lord in it. وَدِينَارٌ يُبَلِّغُنِي إِلَىٰ أَهْلِي, and 1 dinar that is sufficient for me to take me home. To take me home. Ammar says, wait a minute, I will return. He returns, Ammar goes and he comes back and says, لَكَ عِشْرُونَ دِينَارًا, for you is 20 dinars. Ammar says, for you is 20 dinars. وَمِئَةَ dirham, and 100 dirhams. 20 gold coins and 100 silver coins. وَبُرْدَةً يَمَانِيَةً, and he gave him a spread of the Yamani sheet. وَرَاحِلَتِي تُبَلِّغُكَ أَهْلِي, and my caravan to take you home. وَشَبْعُكَ مِنْ خُبْزِ الْبِرِّ وَاللَّحَمِ, and the best type of bread and the best type of meat. Somebody asked Ammar, what was this? आप सोचें, Ammar Yasir फकीर आदमी था. Ammar Yasir was a poor man. Imam Ali's companions were probably, Ammar ke baad mein paisa kahan se aaya? Sarkar, this was his nafla, this was his ghanima Rasulullah gave to him from Khaybar. जो खैबर का हक अम्मार को मिला था, सारा का सारा उसने इस गर्दनबंद के लिए दे दिया. He went home, everything he got from Rasulullah, from the claims of Khaybar, he gave all of it. Because that is all he had to give. فقال الأعرابي ما أسخاك بالمال أيها الرجل فانطلق به عمار فوفاه ما ضمن له ثم عاد الأعرابي إلى رسول الله. And he says, Rasulullah says, أشبعت وكسيت? Do you have food and do you have clothes to wear? قال الأعرابي نعم. Yes, he says. واستغنيت بأبي وأنتم. Not only am I fed and I'm clothed, but I'm a rich man now. I have so much money now. فقال Rasulullah, he says, فأجز فاطمة بصنعها. Will you not pray then? Will you not then pray for the Zahra? Make a dua for her. فقال الأعرابي اللهم إنك إله ما استحدثناك. Ya Allah, you are the Lord, since we've known. ولا إله لنا نعبده سواك, and there's no God except for you. وأنت رازقنا على كل الجهاد, and you are the one who gives the rizq from all directions. From all directions, you are the one that feeds us and gives the rizq. اللهم اعطي فاطمة, O Allah, give to Az-Zahra ما لا عين رأت. किसी आँख ने उसको देखा नहीं है. No eye has seen it. ولا أذن سمعت, and no ear has heard of it. ولا خطر على بال أحد, and not even anyone has assumed it or thought of it. कोई ऐसी नेमत अता कर बीबी ज़हरा को ना आँखों ने देखी हो, ना कानों ने सुनी हो, ना किसी के जहन में ना वहम बना हो, ना ख्याल बना हो. ये उसने दुआ की. फ़अम्मन नबी, रसूल ने हाथ उठाया, रसूल ने कहा आमीन. وأقبل على أصحابه, and then Rasul comes to the companion and says, إن الله قد أعطى فاطمة في الدنيا ذلك. He says, Allah has indeed blessed Fatima with what this man has prayed for. فأنا أبوها, मैं उसका बाप हूँ. وما أحد من العالمين مثلي, और मुझ जैसा आलमीन में कौन है? मैं उसका वालिद हूँ, मुझ जैसा आलमीन में कौन है? وعلي بعلها, और अली उसका शौहर है. ولولا علي ما كان لفاطمة كفوا أبدا. Were it not for Ali ibn Abi Talib, Az-Zahra salamullah alayha would not have a companion, a kuf, somebody, she marries him and he marries her. وأعطاها الحسن والحسين, and Allah has blessed her with Hassan and Hussein. وما للعالمين مثلهما, पूरे आलम में इन दो जैसा कोई नहीं है. سيدة شباب أصبات الأنبياء وسيدة شباب أهل الجنة. وكان بجانبه مقداد وعمار وسلمان. Miqdad, Ammar and Salman are standing there. Rasulullah looks at them and he smiles. He says, और बताऊं? Should I add more to this? قالوا نعم يا رسول الله. قال أتاني جبرائيل, Jibreel came to me. قال أنها إذا هي قبضت ودفنت يسألها الملكان في قبرها. He says, when the time comes and Az-Zahra is to go to her grave and the angels of grave come visiting. बस ये गौर कर लें 2-3 मिनट और उस बात में. When the angels come in the grave to visit Az-Zahra, and they ask her with all respect that is due to Az-Zahra, Man Rabbuki, who is your Lord? She will say, Allahu Rabbi. Az-Zahra will say, Allah is my Lord. فَيَقُولَانْ فَمَنْ نَبِيُّكِ, they will ask, who is then your prophet? She says, Abi. Mere Baba, mere Nabi hai. My father is my prophet. فَيَقُولَانْ وَنْ وَلِيُّكِ, who is your wali? So she will say, هَذَا الْقَائِمْ عَلَى شَفِيرِ قَبْرِ, this one standing in my grave. Who is your Imam? Who is your wali? This one standing in my grave. Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli. And then Rasulullah, the hadith goes lengthy. He says, should I tell you more about Az-Zahra? Tafsil chali aati hai. But then coming back to the iqt, coming back to this, فَعَمَدَ عَمَّارِ إِلَى الْإِقْتِ, then Ammar takes the necklace. Now it is his property. The necklace belongs to him, he's paid a price. فَطَيَّبَهُ بِالْمِسْكِ, he takes misk oil, fragrance, and he covers it, the iqt, the necklace of Az-Zahra, he covers it in this oil. وَلَفَّهُ فِي بُرْدَةٍ يَمَانِيَّةٍ and he puts in a very precious Yemeni cloak. وَكَانَ لَهُ عَبْدًا اسْمُهُ سَهَمْ he had a slave whose name was Saham. فَأَتْبَعَهُ مِنْ ذَلِكَ السَّهَمَ الَّذِي أَصَابَهُ بِخَيْبَرٍ Saham also came with Khaybar. فدفع الإقط إلى المملوك وقال له خذ هذا الإقط فادفعه إلى رسول الله. He gives the necklace to his slave and he says, go to Rasulullah and tell him, Rasulullah, this necklace belongs to you and I belong to you. Necklace भी वापस दे दिया और गुलाम भी रसूलुल्लाह को दे दिया. فقال النبي when Rasulullah sees this, a man show up with the necklace and a slave, he says, انطلق إلى فاطمة فادفع إليها الإقط وأنت لها. He says, go to the door of Zahra, give her the necklace and you belong to her. يعني you are her slave now. فجاء المملوك بالعقد. Now this man is going to the door of Zahra سلام الله عليها. So فأخذت الفاطمة, she takes the necklace and she says, you are free to go. You belong to Allah. Now the riwayah says, فضحك الغلام. The slave here is laughing. The ghulam here he's laughing, he's smiling. So Az-Zahra says, Ma yudhikuka ya ghulam, what makes you smile? He says, Subhanallah, adhakani adama barakati hadha al-iqt. Bibi Zahra, आपके इस नेकलेस की बरकत में देख रहा हूँ कि इतनी ज़्यादा है. अशबा जाइयन, it fed a hungry man. وَكَسَى عُرْيَانًا, it clothed a man who did not have clothes. وَأَغْنَى فَقِيرًا, it made rich a man who did not have money. And it freed a slave. It freed a slave. And this came back to where it belonged. Please recite the salawat on Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The beauty of Jood and Tawakkul, the beauty of Ata and Sakha, the beauty of giving in the house of Zahra Salamullahi alayhi. I'm sorry this took longer than was necessary, but this hadith was important because a dua will give you a tasawwur, it will give you an ideology, an idea, which is only manifest in the beings and the personas and the personality of the Ahlul Bayt and nowhere else. ये ऐसे दुआ करने वाले हाथ हैं अहले बैत अलैहिमुस्सलाम के कि जैसा तसव्वुर है मिस्दाक भी वैसा ही है. जैसी तस्वीर है जो बयान कर रहे हैं बिल्कुल उसी तरह से नज़र भी आ रहा है. खुदा हम सब को, आप सब को, आपकी आल औलाद को इस दर से और दरवाज़े से वाबस्ता रखे. हमें दीन को सीखने समझने उस पर अमल करने की तौफ़ीक़ हो. क़ाइम आले मोहम्मद की ज़ुहूर में ताजील हो. हमें उनके असहाब व अंसार व आवाम में शामिल फरमाए. बारिल्हा परवरदिगार, जिन्होंने इफ्तार का और रोज़ेदारों की इफ्तारी का इंतज़ाम किया है, खुदावंद मुताल उनके रिज़्क़ और रोज़ी में इज़ाफ़ा कर, हासिदीन की हसद से महफूज रहें, दुश्मनान की शर से महफूज रहें. हमारे जो गुनाह हैं खुदावंद मुताल तुझे हक़ मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद का, हमारी गुनाहों की बख्शिश फरमा. क़त्अन हम ये नहीं चाहते कि रसूलुल्लाह ने कहा बदबख्त तरीन शख्स वो है जो माह मुबारक रमज़ान से इस तरह से निकले लेकिन उसकी गर्दन जहन्नुम की आग से आज़ाद ना हुई हो. खुदावंद मुताल इजअलना मिनल उतक़ाई मिनन नार, वो लोग जो जहन्नुम से आज़ाद हो गए हैं, खुदावंद मुताल हमको उनमें से करार दे. आमीन या रब्बिल आलमीन. सल्लु अला मुहम्मद व आलिहि ताहिरीन.